Hey, what's going on YouTube? Mike here for Phandroid. And now Oppo's continued efforts into making premium Android handsets has resulted in some of the best hardware that we've seen on the market, with phones like the Oppo Find X5 Pro giving competing handsets a run for their money. With that said, you might be after a more affordable option from Oppo, in which case you might want to try out the Oppo Reno 8 Pro. But is it the right Oppo phone for you? Let's take a look. Now in terms of looks, the Oppo Reno 8 Pro takes some design elements from the more expensive Find X5 Pro, and it has a very premium look to it. It's got a Gorilla Glass panel on the front display, which is surrounded by aluminum railings on the sides of the phone. The right side houses your power button, while the left hand side has the volume rocker. On the bottom you'll find the USB-C charging port, speaker grill, and your SIM card tray. One distinct design trait is the large camera bump on the back of the phone, which seamlessly melts into the rest of the glass back panel. It's pretty similar to the design on the Oppo Find X5 Pro, and it's a nice way for Oppo to distinguish itself from the rest of the smartphone designs that we see on the market. It seems that in 2022 though, one of the biggest design trends is the inclusion of large camera bumps on most smartphones. Although admittedly this will be a very subjective choice for most people. With that said, however, there's no mention of an IP68 rating on the phone, so you'll have to be extra careful to keep your phone away from water and dust, or maybe a case would be a better way to protect your phone. The Reno 8 Pro features a 6.7-inch AMOLED screen with a 120Hz refresh rate with a 1080 by 2412 pixel resolution. Now this comes with a peak brightness of 950 nits, and it's a rather vibrant display, and if screen quality is a major priority for you, then you'll have a blast with this phone. There's also an in-display fingerprint scanner, which is nice and fluid. It also comes with facial recognition for additional biometrics. The phone also has a dual speaker setup, which produces a nice and clear sound even at maximum volume. Check out this sample. Overall, I'm a fan of the way that the phone looks, and it does have a lightweight feel to it, making it pretty ideal for everyday handling. Oppo has managed to pull off a good looking design on the Reno 8 Pro, and it definitely shows. Now powering the phone is a MediaTek Dimensity 8100 Max chipset, partnered with 256 gigs of internal storage and a choice of either 8 or 12 gigs of RAM, the latter of which we have right here with us. In terms of raw power, the Reno 8 Pro will be able to keep up with high performance tasks thanks to the powerful chipset. MediaTek's Dimensity series chips have made tremendous leaps and bounds when it comes to demanding applications such as gaming and video editing apps, for example. The phone will be more than able to run most graphics heavy games on the Play Store. For example, I was able to play XCOM 2 and Grid Autosport on the Reno 8 Pro, and the phone managed to keep up with the action in both games. There's even a dedicated performance mode which will let you throw your phone's resources into keeping your games running smooth. If you're planning on using this phone for frequent gaming sessions, then you'll have little problem playing your favorite titles on the 8 Pro. For casual smartphone use like web browsing, video and music streaming, as well as social media apps, the Reno 8 Pro will be a solid performer, and moderate users will have a great time with this phone. Using the phone and navigating through the user interface is smooth without any lags or stutters. Speaking of the UI, the Reno 8 Pro comes with Android 12 paired with ColorOS, which is Oppo's custom Android skin. This is the same kind of UI that you'll see on other Oppo and certain OnePlus phones, and it comes with a ton of options for customizability and personalization. Everything from app icons, wallpapers, themes, and even status bar indicators can be tweaked on the Reno 8 Pro, which is something that you won't get on a lot of smartphones out there. With that said, however, the phone comes with a lot of pre-installed software, a lot of which I didn't really need or use. Of course, you can always choose to uninstall these, but for people who are after a more stock Android experience, this will be something to take into consideration. If you're used to a Google Pixel phone, for example, you might be taken aback by the number of additional apps on the Reno 8 Pro. Now in terms of cameras, the Reno 8 Pro comes with a 50 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra-wide lens, a 2 megapixel macro sensor, and a 32 megapixel front-facing camera. This is a setup that you'll see on a lot of other Android phones nowadays, and Oppo has decided to go with this configuration for the 8 Pro. It's also equipped with Oppo's Mari Silicon X, a hardware component which is designed to improve the imaging capabilities of the 8 Pro. With that said, I do think that the Reno 8 Pro's cameras are quite capable, especially for casual mobile photography. Color reproduction is mostly accurate, although there are some times when the software processing tends to add a bit of contrast to images. In general, shots on the main sensor look pretty good with a decent amount of detail and dynamic range, although I wasn't too satisfied with the performance of the ultra-wide lens, in which you can see some differences in color compared to the main sensor. Selfie shots were good as well, and photos on the 8 Pro will be more than enough for social media posts. With that said though, I wasn't a fan of how portrait shots were processed sometimes, and I'd rather just use the default photo mode for selfies. Now the phone also performs nicely in most low light situations. I actually took some comparison night mode shots with the Pixel 7 and the iPhone 14, and in this instance, the Reno 8 Pro was able to hold its own, although I did notice that color reproduction in this example is a bit close to what the iPhone 14 was able to produce. The phone can record a maximum 4K resolution videos at 30 frames per second, which is pretty decent, although to be honest, we'd have preferred an option to shoot in 60 FPS, given that it is available on the similarly priced Pixel 7, for example. With that said, the Reno 8 Pro has decent video stabilization, and in general, you'll get good looking video clips provided that you have enough lighting. We actually have an in-depth camera test here on Phandroid, which you can check out, and that one has a lot of different photo and video samples in multiple lighting situations and scenarios. As for battery, the phone comes with a 4500 mAh battery, which is a decent size and should last most users about a day. Of course, if you use your phone with a lot more data usage, a high brightness display, frequent gaming sessions, then you'll burn through the battery a lot faster. This shouldn't be too much of a problem though, as thankfully the Reno 8 Pro comes with 80-watt fast charging support, which is insanely fast and can charge your phone to 100% in around half an hour. One caveat unfortunately is that the phone lacks wireless charging, so if this is a feature that you use a lot, it will not be available with this device. With that said though, there are of course third-party solutions if you really want to add wireless charging to the Reno 8 Pro. For around £600 in the UK or 470 euros, the Reno 8 Pro is clearly meant to take on phones like the Pixel 7 and the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE to name a couple. At this price point, it does come with a lot of the right ingredients that make up a competent budget flagship phone, like a vibrant display, a premium design, capable cameras, and overall good performance. On the other hand, it does come with a heavily skinned version of Android, which may or may not be to your liking, and the lack of wireless charging might be an issue for some. But if you're after one of the best mid-rangers that Oppo has in its lineup, then there's very little reservation when it comes to getting the Reno 8 Pro. Alright guys, so that does it for this review. Let us know your thoughts about the Reno 8 Pro in the comments below. If you like this video, check out our other reviews here on Phandroid. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.